still visible or not?
Yes, it's visible. You can start your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, my name is César Fernández. Sorry for the delay. I will present the paper Reconfigurable Gamification Platform for the Autonomous Learning of Low Value Medical Practices in name of all of my colleagues. First, what is a low value medical practice? They are medical practices where the risk of harming the patient exceeds the potential benefits. They have other names like do not do's, overuse, non-recommended practices, overdiagnose, etc. Also, although these practices are well known nowadays, there are lists of these practices for different specialties. Although they are well known, they are still very frequent. Depending on the studies, the number of patients affected by these practices can be up to 80%. That means almost everybody has been somewhere in their life affected by one of these practices. And in terms of costs, only in the US, the cost may reach over $100 billion. This cost comes from non-needed medicines and not needed medical tests, like, for example, X-rays or other expensive tests. Besides, these non-recommended practices can produce adverse events for the patients, that is a risk for the patients. It is estimated that 5.1% of patients that suffer a low value practice can have an adverse event that can be severe in certain cases. In this scenario, there is a need for continuous education in healthcare. It must be considered that the lists of non-recommended practices are continuously being updated. Practices that some years ago were common, nowadays they are not recommendable, and there are new protocols every day. For a continuous education, you need to reach a good student engagement, and gamification platforms have proved to improve engagement of students. Basically, a gamification platform is an educational tool where you add game-like elements. That means rewards, trophies, challenges, leaderboards, etc. There is also a social network associated with these platforms where the students can interact with each other. In this slide, I show the standard structure of a gamification platform. You have the student that learns online with his mobile phone, tablet, computer, whatever, and whenever he reaches a goal or a challenge, he is rewarded with points that increase his or her level or position in the leaderboard. There is also a social network where students can interact with each other. We want to propose 2 improvements for this standard gamification platform. Our first proposal is to make the platforms adaptable to each student. To reach this goal, we continuously analyze the learning results of each student. That means we analyze the rate of usage of the platform. We also analyze the success in answering the questions, and we detect if there is a positive or negative trend in these values. We also analyze the interactions in the social network, mainly by sentiment analysis. and also by analyzing the number of interactions per day. Combining these two data, a simple artificial intelligence technique can allow us to detect whether the platform is behaving correctly for this student or not. And if not, we apply changes to the platform. These changes are basically the level of gamification of the platform. More sounds, more medals, more trophies, or less. And there's a second proposal whose goal is to increase the engagement of the student. That is the creation of a collaborative task. And for this particular scenario, the common task will be to create an automatic translation system. Students do not need to know to have programming skills, because the automatic translation system will be created automatically by natural language processing techniques called transformers. For these transformers to work, you need a dictionary of terms. And this dictionary of terms is composed of translations of certain topics from English to the mother tongue of the student. What do students do? They propose terms for this dictionary. The other students can validate these terms. And when terms are validated, they are added to the dictionary. This dictionary, together with the standard dictionaries, are used to train the transformer, and the final output is an automatic translation system specialized in terms of low-value medical practices. The idea is just to engage a student, and they will be able to create something in common. And now some conclusions. First, medical training in low-value medical practices is required for a good healthcare quality. To reach this training, student engagement is a key factor, because we need continuous learning, and gamification platforms have proved to increase engagement. What do we propose? First, a gamification platform that adapts to each student in order to get better results. And second, the creation of a collaborative task to increase engagement even further. In our case, this task is the creation of a collaborative dictionary for training an automatic translator. And that's all. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions.